It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? Hello, darlings. How are you? You sexy little creatures. On this beautiful Sunday. How are you, darlings? Are you taking good care of yourselves? Are you being sweet? Are you being kind to one another? This is the ultimate question, yes? Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. And look what we are doing here. Look what we are doing. We are doing brunch. Yes, this is our brunch. We meet every Sunday, goddess willing. Oh, I forgot to put some earrings in. How well. More's the pity. Anyway, how is everybody? I had my green smoothie, my Dr. Whimsy's shake. For those of you who don't have the recipe, sorry. No. I do protein and greens by the company Paradise, so I get all my adaptogens and all my antioxidants. Protein and greens by the company Paradise. Yes, better than the protein and greens by Garden of Life. Garden of Life protein and greens is not as good, not even close to being as good as protein and greens. Anyway, how's the sound? I turned the sound volume up. So hopefully everybody can hear me just fine. I had a nice chicory coffee. That's where 50% coffee, 50% chicory. It makes a smoother cup of coffee and it decreases your intake of caffeine. So I bought the Roma Instant Grain Chicory Coffee and I mixed that in with my coffee. It makes a great cup of coffee and makes you a little less jittery. And now I am moving on to my brunch. Yes, my brunch. Hi, I'm Dr. Whimsy. How are you all doing? Oh, grape juice. Tell us what you're eating for brunch. Tell us what you're drinking for brunch as we share this brunch together. I am having some Yorkshire tea. And just to let you know, we are cleaning up the water. Yes, our water is contaminated. We have problems with water contamination. And so, gosh darn it, we are hanging out with Matt Damon today and his people creating a fundraiser for water.org. Water.org is supplying millions of people, tens of millions of people with clean, affordable drinking water. It's one of the most important things that we can do for the planet is to clean the water and make it accessible to people, to plants, and other living things. And so we are very happy to stand with Matt Damon. Thank you for starting a great organization with an A rating. So the money goes totally to water.org. None of the money goes to YouTube and is our way. We always choose a charity to support every Sunday. So if any part of this is even remotely entertaining to you, think about throwing a couple bucks over to Matt Damon's great organization, water.org. All right, so I've got my tea. I'm going to put a little milk in it. Any milk will do ya. If you're asking me what the best vegan milk is, I like the combination coconut and almond. 100% almond is coconut is a little bit too coconutty for me, but you can do like a 50-50 almond and coconut. And then for my sugar, allulose, which is safer than xylitol, is the sugar is 50% allulose and 50% regular sugar. And that's another great way to still get the great taste of sugar, but you're reducing your glycemic index by 50%. Many of you know I am a doctor. Here's my I'm a naturopathic doctor. I went to medical school here in beautiful Portland, Oregon. And I always like to share little tips of things that you can do that are not particularly expensive that improve our health. Protein and greens runs you about $29 a tub. And then I like to put some oat milk in it to lower cholesterol. Oats contain polyphenols that help lower cholesterol. And then I also put some fruit in there, whatever fruit's in season. Strawberries were in season. And then I put in some ground flax, which is great for omegas and good for heart health, good for bulking up the stool to reduce risk for colon cancer. And what else do I put in there? Oh, I put walnuts, which are also rich in omega-3s. So that is my morning smoothie. And then I always take a multivitamin from Thorne Research. I do the women's over 50, 2 to 3 capsules a day. And then I do one DHEA capsule, which is a precursor hormone produced by the adrenals. And that's it lowers as we age, and lower DHEA is associated with cognitive decline. So 25 milligrams of DHEA for brain health. So I'm doing a lot for brain health, which is the omegas and the DHEA. Last but not to be the least is you want to get out there and move. If you can't do 10,000 steps a day, then what would be comparable is making sure you're doing your chair yoga. If you are stuck in the chair, get those body moving in the chair. To the best of your ability, get yourself moving. Yeah. You do all those things, you're going to be around for a long, long time. Hi, Judy Jamerson. Give a shout out to the amazing Judy Jamerson. We bow to you. We love our writers. And of course, I can't think of a better writer than Judy Jamerson, so much so that she has been selected to be our book of the month for the wonderful month of September. If you'd like to read her book, Judy, if you could put a link up to the Eckhart, or I can do it for Belle, where you can order if you want to be part of our book club. We get together and we interview the author once a month on Taco Tuesdays. That's Tuesdays at 6 p.m. On October 1st, Judy Jamerson will be in our studios, and there is a link to Eckhart's Press. Both Chuck and I have the book. It's a novelette. It's not too long. It's a couple hundred pages. You should be through it in a couple of days. We're going to be having some interesting conversations about judgment, how we judge one another, particularly the homeless, mentally ill, people with addiction, what we can learn from one another and how we can help one another and not stand so much in judgment. So all of that coming from the amazing Judy Jamerson. Please do yourself a favor and get a copy of Belle and join us on October 1st. It's a powerful, there's a reason why we chose this book at this time. With the attacks that are happening in Springfield, the horrible abuse that's we're seeing against homeless, attacking people who are homeless, attacking people who are drug and alcohol addicted, attacking refugees. We should all be ashamed of ourselves, particularly people who call themselves people of faith, right? We need to all humble ourselves and recognize our unique humanity and all of that, again, in the amazing book, Belle by Judy Ann Jamerson. Let's start the revolution. Yes, thank you, Judy. Thank you so much. Well, gosh darn it, I did it. I sat down. Hi, Cardomancy Mesquite. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around and say hi to you. You can all tell us what you're eating and drinking. And I forgot my notes for the show, so excuse me. I had a dream. We need to talk about it. I have remotes while I sleep, and they're not always fun. Yes. So for those of you who are in my class, we started Heart-Centered Remote Viewing. Introduction to HCRV was started Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Standard Time. Is that how we do it? And so that would be 9 o'clock Eastern Eastern Daylight Time. That is when we get together for our class. If you can't make the live class, that's okay. You can always watch it after the fact and still get credit. Once the class is done, send me an email saying that you attended all 10 classes, and we will get you a certification. If you're having any challenges, please reach out to me and ask questions. I also want to give a shout out to the amazing, unbelievable Debbie Brady, Future Shaper. Debbie Brady, Future Shaper. She is a talent director, talent manager. She is for YouTube. She scouts YouTube looking for young and aspiring talent, young in spirit, young on YouTube. You can be any age. And she is also a creative director and designer. People were asking, why are you wearing a shirt with your picture on it? Well, funny you should ask. Ahem. This would be a wonderful time for me to talk about our merch, which Debbie was kind enough to design. If you check shopping on this channel, all of the merch goes to support the channel. And the designer, the person who designed the merch, is, of course, the amazing Debbie Brady. So that is why I'm wearing a shirt with the Oracle of Whimsy. Yes, that is what that is. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you so much. Under 120. Thomas says we are allotted 120 years. Researchers say they got it right. We do live about 110 to 120 years, and then we have traumas and insults which decrease, but our cells should live for about 110 to 120. Rabbi Teitelbaum lived to be 117, for example. So the less insults we have to our body, the better. To trauma, all these things can age us from our natural 120 years. And good nutrition and good life path, being in a good place, mentally and emotionally, all those things can return back the years we have lost. Hi, Jen Aruz. Welcome to Fairies and Angels. Thank you so much for supporting us. And we, of course, want to know, which are you? Are you a fairy or are you an angel? I would like to believe I am more fairy. I'm a little mischievous. I'm a lot of mischievous, more a fairy sprightly type. Angels are difficult. I try to be good, but you know, the chocolate is in the refrigerator and it's calling me. Deborah Murphy, good to see you. See Amira, good to see you. Chris Mann, hello. Rose Blue, good to see you. I believe you have a free reading with me. I think I sent you an email. Please contact me about your free reading. See, Mayor Carver said Joel Tilson is in the house. He is our official floor director. Give it up to the amazing man from Wyoming, the man from all seasons. He's letting us know that there are 44 days until election. Joel Tilson is a human rights advocate, fighting the good fight for veterans who have been disabled 10 to 40% so that they get 10 to 40% disability means you don't get to do your job anymore. So for that reason, he's working for full benefits for veterans, and we support that. Laura Cerna, hello, and a happy young 69 to you. Happy birthday. Geocosmic Valentine, she is a licensed remote viewer. She has received full certification. She's also an astrologer. So if you want a great reading and a great remote viewing, check out Geocosmic Valentine. Yes, people are upset about the election. Let's talk about it. You know, I did another reading, and I know that Trump is on the campaign trail. I know we're talking about it. You know, I make notes. Again, if you're a student, keep your account and reckoning book close to hand, because you're going to be writing those impressions down. Every time I go into Trump's energy, I feel like I gave up. Now, there are a lot of towns where Trump cannot even go and stump because evidently he owes money to the towns. He is winning in Arizona and Georgia and North Carolina right now. He is about a point ahead in those swing states. So, of course, where we want to concentrate our energy is Arizona, Georgia. I think we should also put some time into Florida. I don't think we should assume he's going to win Florida. I think it would be a bad idea to give up on Florida, but definitely Arizona, Georgia, Nevada is starting to swing towards Harris. But again, don't get too comfortable. But right now we're losing in Arizona and we're losing by a point or two in Georgia. And we're also losing in North Carolina. So even though she's maybe 5 to 6 points ahead in the national, we're still losing in those swing states. So that's why I tell people, don't get comfortable. Start knocking on doors, start making those phone calls, donate if you can, anything and everything we can do. I'm very transparent here that I am a registered Democrat and that I'm voting blue no matter who. I care about women's rights. I don't think people who do not have medical training should be in the room with an OBGYN during a medical emergency. And I'm saying that as a doctor. It is beyond insane that people are voting on how a woman is treated in an emergency medical situation when the people voting have no medical training. The only person that needs to be making those decisions are the person whose body it is and the doctors that are dealing with the emergency. And unfortunately, we have women dying all over the country where they don't have equal right to access and bleeding out in parking lots, etc. So for that reason, it's nice in theory that every child is born and loved, but the bottom line is that 500,000 children are in foster care, many with severe disabilities, and nobody wants anything to do with them. So we're not really good at taking care of children in this country. And it would appear that we're not very good at making medical decisions that impact women's lives. So if you care about the Supreme Court, make sure also those down ballot races in the Senate. It's not looking good in West Virginia right now. Remind me again who the two candidates are, but it looks like the Republican candidate is doing very well in West Virginia. So it could be losing Manchin's seat. And for that reason, that means we would be losing control over whether or not we can decide who gets into the Supreme Court. So very vital, those down ballot races. We need everybody to be out there voting. Don't get comfortable. Don't get complicit. Remember, the poll showed on 538 that Hillary had a 70% chance of winning, and then the undecided voters went with Trump. So again, vote blue no matter who. Don't get comfortable. Don't get complicit. And remember, if you don't have any medical training whatsoever, you don't need to be deciding what the emergency procedure is when someone's hemorrhaging in a doctor's office. All right? Let the doctor do her job. All right? Thank you. We don't do that. Cruz is on thin ice, but again, Texas is going to be suppressing votes. Georgia wants to count every vote. They are creating long lines in predominantly black neighborhoods, people of color. We know the scam. So if you can vote early, so that you're not sitting out there at 10 o'clock in the night being told you can't vote because the polls have closed. We know the scam. We know the crap that gets pulled. And I also would strongly encourage us to do a 50-state strategy. Get out there and fight not only in Georgia and North Carolina, but Florida as well. I think we can take Florida because Trump is only ahead 4 points. And it's a long shot, but, if you looked at his opposition, it was the fool. The fool just goes for it. The fool has infinite faith. They take the leap of faith and they're all in. And that is what I see in the Harris campaign. But it's not going to help us if we can't take the Senate and the House. We've got to take the Senate and the House. And then when Sotomayor retires, she's thinking about retiring, and Thomas retires. Look, if Sotomayor retires and we can't get anybody in, that's a disaster. We have got to do everything in our power to win. Okay, so regarding the remotes, as I had said before, regarding Trump quitting, I want to be very specific what I said. When I go into this, I feel like oops, what did I do there? Trump quitting. Here's how I feel emotionally as Trump. I don't think I can stay depressed for very long as Trump. I always feel as Trump, oh, well, you win some, you lose some. And then I'm off to the new thing. Ace of Wands is a card of victory, go out and win. It was in his 7th house, but it's also an entrepreneur's card. And what he was sitting in was the King of Pentacles. People wanted me to, King of Pentacles is the businessman. So this is somebody possibly looking for new business ideas. Ace of Wands, a new business. But where he's at right now, he had the 8 of Cups. He was walking away from everything and he had a new venture. So an Ace of Wands is a new venture. If you're thinking about the fact that this guy was sitting in the King of Pentacles, he was sitting in business mode, starting a new business and walking away from what he had now. His opposition had the Fool and took the leap of faith. And the 3 of Cups is the victory card falling in his opposition. So I don't know. People were telling me, oh, no, I interpret it differently. The 8th house is the opposition or the person that you have a challenge with. The 7th is your immediate environment, the other's immediate environment that you are having an issue with. And so based on the cards, it showed a huge leap of faith that we go all in, the Democrats, and that if we do that, if we do not flinch, you know, this is something that we learned from samurai, right? Do not flinch before you strike. You know, be confident and go forward with the strike without a single flinch or hesitation. Go samurai mode. If we do that, then we will do very well for ourselves. If we hesitate or get lazy or think, well, there's no point in me voting, everybody knows Hillary's going to win. There were a lot of pro-Hillary people that didn't vote in Florida, didn't vote in Georgia and North Carolina, and it cost us the election. So again, how I would interpret the cards is that with that leap of faith is we have to just go for it. We have to go for it 110% and not assume anything is going to be given to us. L'chaim, everyone. The second thing I wanted to talk about again was the dream I had last night, which included more riots in Springfield. Now, as many of you know, there's been a lot of crazy statements that have come out about Springfield, about people eating cats. The Haitian community has been threatened. There's been some true stories, and then there's been some fake stories. The true stories are Haitians are having a challenge with the driving. I've seen some film footage. That's true. You know, there is a challenge with the driving. I saw something online. Somebody was caught, Haitian, without license plates, without a license. So that's just something that comes with adapting to life in the United States, is that we have a lot of laws here, but you can't just get in a car and drive like you can in other parts of the world where people don't bother to check for those sorts of things. So there are real challenges. And then there's just the crazy pet eating crazy stuff that's happening. So in the dream I had last night, there were riots. There were riots and people were fighting back. So you had aggressive white supremacists coming in, but then you also had aggressive protesters on the other side that were fighting the racist. And it was so bad that in the dream, I was sitting with a group of friends and we were talking and we looked through the window and they weren't focused on us because we weren't part of the riot. It was like we were invisible in the dream, and we were just watching. And I saw these Haitian men fighting back. So the Haitian men were actually, we can't take it anymore. And they were like, come on, man, you want to fight? And I was like, oh boy. Yeah, that's just what, you're not going to keep punching somebody. Eventually they're going to punch back. So it's like, oh, we got a race riot. And so people were running this way and that way. And the white supremacists were torching cars. They were smashing windows. And they were trying to create riots. They were trying to create riots in swing states. And I saw it in Springfield. And at one point I got scared, and I was like, aren't you people scared? Like, everyone was just watching it. No, it was like people were watching these riots starting to happen all over the country, but nobody was moving. Everybody was just sitting in their chairs, looking through the window, watching, kind of like on YouTube. We must have been on YouTube. We were like sipping our teas and oh my, oh dear, oh my. And I thought, aren't you guys going to do anything? This is horrible. It's getting really, really bad. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going down into the basement. And so I took my tea and I went down in the basement, and I was looking for somewhere to hide. And unfortunately, I wound up having to bunk with a born-again Christian in the dream who's like, Jesus. And I was like, I'm not going to tell this person I'm Jewish, or I won't get an ounce of sleep tonight. So it was, well, I've already been there. They missionize twice as hard. So it was this nightmare of religious dogma, and everybody was shouting their opinions. And the symbolism of going down in the basement in the dream, I thought was also kind of interesting, because I have noticed in my dreams that energy levels, certain parts of a building, like the basement is to be in a really low place, and upstairs is a high place. Like when I dreamed of Princess Diana, she was high up. You had to go up the stairs to get to her, and King Charles went up to meet her, maybe because he's thinking about his own mortality right now. But in the dream, I was hiding from the mob. And so I went down and hid in the basement. And then when I got down there, there was this evangelical waiting to preach. I was like, oh my God, there's no escape. I can't get away from these people. So people have preconceived ideas, right, of what they think is good, what they think is bad. I don't know how being cruel to immigrants has anything to do with the Christian faith. I think it's really bizarre that anybody would take that from the Christian Bible, but whatever. So it's just another dream I'm having, and more psychic hits about, I don't like these protest dreams. I don't like these rioting, and I don't like the fact that these dreams always end in violence on both sides, but instigated by white supremacists. And then people start having to defend themselves. And then who are they going to blame? They're going to blame the person who's defending themselves, right? So, yeah, I just really be aware of that, and do what we can to get out the vote. The book I recommend was the book that, for getting healthy, is the book that was required reading when I was in medical school, and that is Eat to Live by Joel Fuhrman. And that is where you try to have the main base of your diet be greens. You want to have greens every day. Beans. You can sprout them if you have it hard to digest. Sprouting is a good idea. Greens, beans, onions, berries, nuts, and seeds are found to be the most nutrient-dense foods that humans can eat. And so you'll always want to have those be part of your day. So, for example, for greens, I did protein and greens today. And I think there's some pea protein in it, so I got my beans. The berries, I put some berries in there, and I put some walnuts in that. I also toasted some pumpkin seeds today with a little tamari, so I have that as a snack. Mary's Seed crackers are very good, and you can have those with hummus, which is another way to get your beans. Mary's seed crackers have no sugar in them, and they're rich in those omegas. And then I like to have that with some Sabra hummus, but any good hummus. And so then you're getting your seeds and your beans. And then for greens, you can also do a salad, onions. I roasted some vegetables with onions, potatoes, carrot sticks, and broccoli, and roasted it. And then I ate those with hummus. So that way I'm getting my greens and beans. And then the best animal protein we've talked about is deep water fish. That's low in mercury, anchovies, sardines, mahi seems to be safe. The freshwater trout that's farmed is safe, and so is the catfish. Both of those are farmed and actually good for the environment because they clean up waste, but it is not, the meat is not toxic, contrary to what people think. So trout and catfish are healthy, delicious, and they're actually, farming them is good for the environment. Cod, of course, good, and salmon, also very good for you. In terms of animal products, if you feel you need, after eating all of that, you need a little bit of animal product, you need to increase your protein, then the best thing would be turkey, would be number one, skinless turkey, and then chicken. And of course, these should be roasted to remove the fat and to be eaten without the skin and the fat. And that can be, an additional 10% or so of your diet, depending upon how much protein you need. So greens, beans, onions, berries, nuts, and seeds should be the base of your diet. And then if you need a little extra protein, focus on fish oil, fish, and lean birds like turkey and chicken. Dairy, you can lose your ability. Even I'm struggling with dairy right now. I'm not able to digest dairy as much as I used to. I'm actually getting regurg. I'm actually vomiting it up at night. So that's telling me that it's time to cut back on dairy. It is a good source of calcium. You could try Lactaid, but, yogurt is also too acid forming for me, so I'm only able to do small amounts of dairy these days. Red meat, make sure it's lean if you really, and grass-fed, grass-finished if you really want a piece of red meat. Oven roasted turkey is really the way to go. Dave's Killer Bread is fantastic. Pork, the living conditions for the animals is pretty horrible, and they have the intelligence of a 5-year-old child, and I don't know if I want to participate in that. Also, the methane gas and the CO2 emissions are a lot worse than, chicken and turkey doesn't require as much space or resources. So it's a lot easier on the planet than a large animal that's producing massive amounts of methane gas and CO2 and requires larger amounts of land. So if you love pork, you can have it like on Christmas and the holidays. But for the most part, you want to reduce it. Same with the beef. Once in a while, I'll have beef. I love the taste of beef. We had a Sunday roast when I was in Limerick. And it was the most delicious thing I've ever eaten in my entire life with the Yorkshire pudding. Oh my God. But am I having it every Sunday? No, it was the first time in my life I'd ever had it, and it might be the last, but boy, did I enjoy it, right? So with everything, find moderation. Greek yogurt, yeah, I might do better. I don't like the thickness of Greek yogurt. I like a runnier yogurt, but I might try goat's. Goat's milk tends to be a lot better. Lab grown meat, when it's going to be available, is going to be the healthiest choice because they're just growing protein cells. Thank you for that, Joel. And actually, if you're looking at it just as a doctor, the healthiest meat will be lab grown because they won't be growing the fat. They'll just be growing the protein. and it will be in clean conditions, so you don't have to worry about salmonella, etc. If you can drink a beer, it's the same kind of science, so you don't have to be frightened of, oh my God, the Frankenstein meat. It's not quite like that. It's as safe as, it's the same kind of thing. It's a fermentation process. It's safe. It's not going to hurt you, and in fact, is probably cleaner and healthier than what you would be getting if you ate the actual animal. Yeah, and it doesn't hurt the animal. So that's cool. All right. So without further ado, I think we will do the empath prayer and then give you guys a collective reading today. Would you like that? I can't wait till we get lab-grown meat. First off, because I have high cholesterol, and it would be nice to get meat where I don't have to worry about 20% fat or 30% fat or something like that. And the other reason is because I don't like hurting the animals, and I don't like the stress it's putting on the environment. I think that Texas will hail in the best lab-grown meats. I have a feeling that Texas steaks, they'll start producing some of the lab-grown, and I think that it will probably go down in history as the place to get the best lab-grown steaks will be out of Texas. Because I think a lot of people in Texas see the writing on the wall, and it is the land of beef. And so if you can't beat them, join them. And I think that that's exactly what Texas is going to do. And I think we can anticipate some great steaks, beautiful steaks coming out of Texas that are lab grown. If you can't beat them, join them. All right, so we're going to do the empath's prayer and collective. Great to see you all. You all enjoying your brunch? Everybody able to donate to water.org? That would be totally awesome. Okay. On the happy note of rioting, yes. Yes, they want to create chaos so that people are frightened because fear is the number one concern for the voters. And if they're afraid of the chaos, then they'll run and vote for Trump, right? But that's not what's happening. They're going to run and vote for Harris because Harris is the law and order candidate and Trump is the chaos maker. Right? Okay. If you are someone who needs to receive a healing at this time, or if there's somebody you love who needs to receive a healing at this time, please let us have the person's name so that they can be included in the prayers that we are doing today for them. Okay, sound good? We like to take this time to send healing and special prayers to everyone who is suffering, whether you're suffering due to physical illness or emotional strain or having a difficult time, for whatever reason. We just want you to know that we're sending love and good vibes and positive prayers to you and those you love. And let's just, as a collective, come together and pray for those people who have come forward today asking for healings for themselves and those they care about. And thank you, Maria Carpenter, for your donation. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively we say, Amen. And for those people requesting help and healing at this time, we ask that they receive the help that they need and that they receive a perfect healing. May all souls be happy and may all souls be healed. Amen. All right, this is your reading for the week. This is the collective reading, and we call it a smorgasbord. This reading, we're going to pass things down, and if it doesn't apply to you, just pass it down as part of the superconscious, the collective, and hopefully it will speak to some of you. So here is your reading for the week. Yep, I got the cards upside down. I was wondering what was going on. All right. So the message I keep getting from Spirit to tell you is that life is what we make it. Life is what we make it. And it's a choice. If you want to be happy, happiness is a choice. Sometimes I get to feeling sorry for myself and I sit back passively and I wait for others to come and make me happy. And then when they do something nice, I'm the person that usually criticizes what the nice thing is, right? Well, you made me a cup of coffee, but the coffee's not sweet enough. Well, the message I keep getting that I want to convey to people is that happiness is a choice. Your success in life is a choice. If you want to be happy, then you must choose to do the things that bring you joy. You cannot wait to be given permission, and you cannot wait for others to bring the happiness to you. Find those things that make you happy, and then give yourself permission to do those things. We're put on this earth to create heaven on earth, and because we're put on this earth to create heaven on earth, we have a moral responsibility to create heaven on earth. If you don't create heaven on earth for yourself, then you have not fulfilled your mission. Your mission is not to be a victim. Your mission is not to be a scapegoat. Your mission is not to sit around and wait for Mr. or Mrs. Right to come and fix it. Your mission in life is to get busy creating heaven on earth for yourself, and to understand that you don't need permission. It's your obligation. We have the base card being grief, 5 of Cups, that we can sometimes get stuck in the sadness or the grief of the past, and then we don't look at the wonderful life we have. I could sit around being pissed off at this person and that person because of things that happened 10 years ago and 20 years ago, and I do, in fact, try to schedule it. I usually schedule it for washing the dishes. Anybody else do that? It's usually when I wash the dishes that I start my mantra of, I'm mad about this and I'm mad about that. Wash, wash, scrub, scrub, wash, wash, scrub, scrub. And I feel like I'm washing it out of my system, right? So I do have time in the day that's allotted for me to be pissed at the world, right? But the rest of the time, I really have to take responsibility for my own happiness. If I want to go to the library and look at books, then I should go to the library and look at books. If I want to be healthy, then I have to take responsibility for my behavior. Greens are expensive. Go out and pick some dandelions, right? It's free. One of the most nutrient-dense greens you can eat, dandelions. Best to pick them in the spring. Spring is when you harvest them. You harvest the roots in the winter and fall. Spring and summer is when we harvest the greens. Or we can have a garden. The point is, and buy in season, and it's cheaper. The point is that life is what you make it, and be aware of not being trapped by the things of the past. The person of the Five of Cups is sitting and focusing on, oh, look what Joe did in 1985. Look what Paula did in 1971. And we're just, oh God, I so can relate to this card. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, look at what a great life I have. I have you, I have Kay, I have Karen, I have Sia Mira, I have all these awesome people that have come to hang out with me on Sunday. I mean, this is nothing. I got 370 people hanging out with you and me, creating safe drinking water for people that we don't even know. Life is what we make it. The world is what we make it. We're here to lift each other up. We've come here by choice, right? We've come here by faith, and we've come here by choice. And we've come here to do something positive in the world. First, we need some love for ourselves, right? But also we want to help each other through nonprofits, etc. So Five of Cups is turn around and look at what you have, rather than being lost in disappointments about what you have lost. Also, the karma card is poverty. Poverty and being locked out of the church. If you're locked out of the church, then you knock on the door, and then you take your smartphone. Even homeless, they say, have smartphones now, thank God. And you call the rector and say, hey, can I get in? I'm cold out here, right? So it's talking about being proactive to the things that are locking you out of your own happiness, or the things that have put you in the situation of poverty. You have put yourself there, and you can get yourself out. If others are dragging you down, then maybe it's time to think about, maybe it's time to let that person go. If you can't take care of, look at the people in your life. Are they obstructing you? Are they working with you? Or are they working against you? And so it could be a time of looking at smarter ways to do things. Major transformation happening for many of you. I feel like everybody is waking up. The death and transformation card. And I'm also seeing justice coming for all of us. And sometimes justice is as much as a decision. Well, I'm not going to be doing that again. That was a mistake. Or that was a relationship I shouldn't have had. Or that was a food I shouldn't have eaten, right? If it's making you sick. So the courts come in, which can be justice, transformation, and a time of justice coming in, or a time of balance, could indicate that you are righting the wrongs of the past at this time. And what is above you is adulthood. We are adulting, right? We are adulting. The master comes into your fourth house. So what you're manifesting is mastery. I would much rather hang out with you folks on YouTube than write my book on remote viewing. But I have to write my book on remote viewing. So I have to have discipline. And we're entering in a time of mastery. If you want to be a success in life, you must be the master of the thing you seek to do. If you want to be a great remote viewer, you have to do it every day. I play hooky as a remote viewer. I don't want to do remote viewings. I'm tired. I don't want to remote view. And then I'll do my mantras. I'll go to sleep, and I'll be propelled into a remote view, like the riots I saw in Springfield, right? So your work, you can't run from your work. But so pursue mastery. Mastery is more important than fame. Mastery is more important than anything. And what do you want to master? Your own happiness. What you're sitting in is heartbreak. Watch your hearts, people. I want your cholesterol lower. I want you to be mostly plant-based. No more animal fat in the diet. Cut it out. Stick to the low-fat dairy, 1%, 2%, or non-fat. Start getting up there and exercising to the best of your ability. Start doing the anti-inflammatory diet. What we've talked about, the studies on the anti-inflammatory diet. I have lectured on it. I've written about it. I've talked ad nauseum about this idea of calorie restriction is one of the best things you can do to get inflammation down in the body. And also to eat a predominantly greens, beans, onion, predominantly plant-based. Have plant-based foods be your main source of food. Olive oil is great in small amounts. If it's real olive oil, you want to go with a good product. Check out the anti-inflammatory diet. If you need to see me as a doctor, I see people through telemedicine. You can book through Booksy. But I usually put my patients on an anti-inflammatory diet. We want to keep your blood sugar stable, very important for inflammation and decreasing heart disease, etc. Good for brain health. 40% complex carbs, 30% protein, 30% healthy fats. And you can see here is a list of the low sugar vegetables. They start to, when we go into the roots like carrots and yams, those are also fine because they're high in fiber, but you're getting closer to 15, 20%. Anything that has a glycemic index of 55 or less is going to be considered a low glycemic food. How quickly glucose is raised in the blood is what the glycemic index is. But this is an example of the ideal diet. You want to decrease wheat. If you absolutely love wheat, then I just say try reducing it. You don't have to have bread every day. Have it once or twice a week. But I'm worried about heartbreak and heart issues and stress in the heart. Heartburn is what I've been getting lately. Past placement, you may be feeling like you gave and you gave and you gave and you didn't get back. What do I know how that feels? Six of Pentacles in your past placement. Understand that the giving and the service work did not go unnoticed. If you were taking care of people, if you were, don't be resentful. Understand that it was a choice and understand that good things came from it. You're entering into the time of reaping what you sowed. Action reacts. You serve with justice and you will have a just return. Mastery, I'm telling you, is in the fourth house, but it also involves your own health. Take it one step at a time. For example, I used to smoke a lot of marijuana. I remember that. I was depressed. I went through a bad divorce. I decided that I was going to feel sorry for myself and eat too much cookie dough and smoke too much marijuana. And then I decided I had had enough of feeling sorry for myself. And now I don't smoke marijuana. I'm done. It's not good for my lungs. It's not good for me mentally and emotionally. It's great for you as a remote viewer, though. Because you see everything as it is. Edibles are used by remote viewers, so I get it. But try and do it a la natural. And so, conquer your bad habits one at a time. Maybe you want to let go of the marijuana. Maybe you want to start reducing your caffeine, like me, where I've started to do 50% chicory. You start where you're at, you have a list of what your bad habits are, and you don't have to give up wheat entirely, but you don't have to maybe give up dairy entirely. We're just talking about bringing in more healthy habits, but take the most difficult habit and try and either eliminate it or reduce it, and then just knock. With me, my biggest challenge right now is just exercise. I need to get out and move. I'd rather lie in bed and read books. Who wouldn't? But it's not good for my health, so I have to be active and get out there. Caring for yourself and caring for others and seeking a just life will be fruitful, as will mastery. Master all things, including your health. Man, when I was on vacation, I drank Coca-Cola. I know my hemoglobin A1C went up. All right, where you're at, you have good stars. So I would say astrologically, it's going to be a good 2024 going into it, and probably up into next year with a nice star card around you. See, this is the fighting, the opposition. I see fighting in the streets. I don't like saying that. So anything we can do to diffuse this chaos, and let's not wait until it gets here. Let's try and be a source for calm and peace and good in our lives even with those we may have strife with, invite them over for a cup of coffee and a slice of pie. Pie is low glycemic index, right? Put some cherries in there and a little bit of xylitol mixed with brown sugar or whatever, and you'll be all right. Bananas are a great substitute also, but try and just dissipate conflict. When you see conflict around you, do what you can to the sketches and diagrams are probably going to be done by my assistant, Chuck Dransfield, because he's an award-winning artist, and I'm going to hire him because he knows what he's doing and I don't. Yeah, thank you for that. So Five of Wands is the conflicts card, and the hopes and the fears. King of Cups is the great mediator. Like a bridge over troubled water. You can see the troubled water, and he is stable in the troubled water. So the hopes and fears is to be a mediator. Maybe you feel like you're the person that's always in the middle of it, like me when I was witnessing the riots in Springfield and people were being fight, right? And then people, okay, I'm going to fight. No, you don't want, but you got to defend yourself. So I'm worried that we're going to see more of what we saw in North Carolina. We're going to in Charlottesville. I'm worried it's going to be taking place in other places. So being the mediator in the issue of fights, don't get yourself in trouble, but try and cool the heat around you. And your final outcome is the power lies with you. I knew that the magician was going to come in because I had gotten the feed when I had done the prayers earlier today for people that the goddess was a little hard with you. Where is your personal responsibility in all of this? I don't know how the hell I wound up here. Where is your personal responsibility in all of this? It's actually easy. If you don't like the person, if you don't like the way you have a moral responsibility to be happy, leave, right? So there's this magician energy coming in where it's a little bit hard on us, telling us, take responsibility for your life, be grateful for what you have. Do not sit around weeping about that which has already happened, and instead look at what you already have. If you can't get into the church, if other people are dragging you down, if these things are dragging you down, you are an adult and you can make positive choices from moment to moment. And it's about giving the power back to you. The clarification for you at this time, be frugal. Understand that money, just like everything else in life, is energy. Where is your money going and where is your money coming out? I'd like to believe that donating to a charity that's going to create safe drinking water for people is a good investment, right? Water is precious, but empty spending, right? Like buying gadgets that fall apart on Amazon, that sort of thing. Regarding the issues of the fighting, there's a hanged man, which leads me to think that the fighting, the chaos that we're going to see prior to the election will dissipate. Hopes and fears, Ten of Swords, to be stabbed in the back, to be betrayed by one's own, making us lay low, to feel that we cannot trust the system that has been set up to protect us. The Ten of Swords, also, though, the sun is rising. And then the final outcome over our mastery, expect more money in Americans' pockets in the coming years as the Ace of Pentacles comes into position with Magician. We will take responsibility for ourselves by voting, by taking control over our finances, by taking control over our businesses, by taking control over our health, by not playing the victim. But I am an adult, I'm getting rid of the damn Twinkies, right? If we do these things and if we pursue mastery, remember, mastery stands in the fourth house. It is what you are pounding away at. Why are you here and have you mastered it? You are here to be happy. You are here to bring your happiness and heaven on earth to the world. And if you don't do that, you will be reincarnated again. Now that's Kabbalah, that's Jewish mysticism. Jewish mysticism believes in reincarnation. A lot of people don't know that the Jews believe in reincarnation because we don't like to talk about it. But when I was in Israel, every rabbi I knew was like, well, that was a bad incarnation. It's like, we believe in reincarnation. Well, of course we do. Wow, new information. Thank you. We do believe in reincarnation, and we believe in a concept that's known as Tikun Olam, or the fixing of the world, which is for you to live your best life, to be as happy as you can, and to spread that happiness to the world is the fixing of the world. In Hebrew, we say, mitzvah gadola liot v'simcha. It is a great deed to be happy. Mitzvah gadola liot v'simcha tami. So that's why you might hear that song in Hasidism. They're telling you that you are morally responsible for your own happiness. And if you don't pursue happiness, you have not fulfilled your karma. And if you And so that's what they're talking about. They're talking about this idea of mitzvah gadola liot v'simcha. Snap out of it. Don't be so depressed. There you go. There's a rabbi telling you that you better go be happy. You better go make your life as joyful and happy. If you don't, you're coming back again. So you want God to be happy with you. You want to be a good person. You create heaven on earth for yourself, and then share it with everyone else. All right. So that is your reading. It's a great song. We sing it. We sing it a lot. We sing it at weddings. People get wrapped up in rules and and then they forget the whole point. Wait a minute. Are you happy? Are you happy? Well, gosh darn it, we need to fix that. Remember, you got to bring joy into the world. Be on a good and righteous path, but you are called to master your life, to master your art, whatever your art is, to put out excellent work, and to be in joy. And you are not a victim. You have brought yourself to this point, and you can take yourself out of it. All right. So without further ado, we will blitz. Am I happy? Yes, I'm happy so long as I don't sit around thinking about how pissed off I am at certain people who done me wrong 10 years ago. Because I am like you. I benefit from the readings, and I can do that. That damn jerk I dated back in I give myself permission when I wash the dishes. But yes, I have everything. If I'm not happy, I got no one to blame but myself, because I have everything I've ever wanted. I always wanted to be a doctor. I worked very hard. I dreamed. I didn't get to be a doctor till I was in my 40s because I had a lot of things happening and places I wanted to go and people I wanted to meet. I traveled the world. I've got my doctorate. I wanted to have a little kitty cat that I could go see the world with. I got my kitty cat. I wanted to have tons of friends. I have my amazing. I didn't even expect to have such wonderful friends. But I'm always striving for mastery. I'm always, how can I be the best remote viewer that I am put on this earth to be. Can I help the police? Can I help the DNC? Can I, uh, warning people about Putin, for example, the trade route crazy. Um, can I empower my clients? Uh, Being the best doctor I can be, always learning, always, putting the gosh darn YouTube aside and saying it's time to study medicine. It's time to look at your patients' cases because that's why I'm here. Yeah. So yes, I'm probably the happiest person I know, which is not to say I'm perfect, but I'm very blessed. I'm very lucky. Yes. Yeah, and thank you, Debbie. And teaching remote viewing. I want remote viewing, which is your birthright, to be able. I want everyone to have basic skills, and so I keep it very affordable. It's the most affordable remote viewing class out there. We only charge $9.99 at the Elders Empaths level. I don't need to get rich. That I need to get as many people trained as possible before I die, which is why I got to get the book out. But I know why I'm here. And so for that reason, I'm happy. And I know that I'm on my path. All right. So without further ado, if you have any political questions, any questions about royals, any questions about Sean Diddy Combs or any other celebrity, I am here. I am your remote viewer. We have done the empath's prayer. We're sealed and protected. We'll be doing a short technique HCRV, so I will be using the cards. Feel free to ask any questions. Joel Tilson is here to help direct people if they're lost or if their questions are not getting answered. And I certainly hope everybody enjoyed the collective reading. We're going to go a little late today because the collective reading was really long, and that's completely okay. We've gotten the order from Deborah Murphy to blitz, blitz, blitz away. Usually wait. Yes. Oh, good. Invite people to join. Looks like we're up to $430 in our fundraiser to bring clean water to the people of the world. I think that something like 45 million people benefit from water.org. And so we are happy to participate in that fundraiser. And of course, that was founded by Matt Damon, and so much appreciation to Matt Damon for that wonderful organization. Also, again, to give a shout out, I don't know where the book went to the amazing, I don't know what happened to the book, to the amazing Judy Jameson. She is our book of the month. If you want to join us, I don't know what happened to it. Bell. I just had it. I don't know what happened to it. Sorry. I'm sorry. All right, let's get to some blitzes. Let's get to Debbie Brady is saying that maternal death is up 11% since Roe v. Wade fell because people don't know what they're doing and because the people that made that decision are not doctors. And to have some uneducated person in the room making those decisions and leaving the doctor in a situation where they cannot help a patient who's bleeding out is absolutely insane. You're not a doctor. You're not an OBGYN. You don't know what the hell you're doing. Get the hell out of the room. Let her treat her patient, right? So let's take a look at the future of Roe v. Wade. The future, we'll do blitzes. We'll just do blitzes. So it's just 4 cards. The 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th cards of a Celtic cross are a blitz if you want to know how to do a blitz. The immediate environment, birth, Ace of Cups, which can be birth, and the issue is birth. Giving birth, the wedding cup. It's also an auspicious card. The opposition is an inverted uh, Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is to be cornered or to be trapped. It's when your world is getting smarter. It's an inverted Nine of Wands, which would indicate that even though we've got them on the ropes, they still seem to be able to, these people are nuts. They're evangelical Catholic sect, and they've taken over the Supreme Court via the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation is holding our Supreme Court hostage, and they are not contained, and they are still in control of the situation. I'm sorry to say. The hope and the fear for us is new legislation, Three of Pentacles, new contracts, a new blueprint, a new way of doing things. And the final outcome for Roe v. Wade at this time is Four of Pentacles. We need to get very serious. We cannot sit around daydreaming that all of this is just going to take care of itself. These people are dangerous. They're insane. They're uneducated. They're not medically trained. And if they control the medical decisions, more women will die. Four of Pentacles is about putting a microscope on things. It's frugality. We have to get real, and we have to talk to people in a very real way that women are dropping dead. And if men don't care, we've got to get women to care. The clarification over the issue: the healthcare system will crash. More women will die. There's a tower over the birth. Giving birth and having babies is dangerous, and decisions have to be made in emergencies. And if doctors are not allowed to do what they have to do, we're seeing more women crashing, more women coding. The opposition, the Heritage Foundation, etc., is in a situation they must be stopped, slowed down. They're slowed down, Knight of Pentacles. So they're slowed down, but they haven't, their belief systems are there. The Pope is calling Harris evil for wanting a woman's right to choose. She's the lesser of two evils, right? So the Pope is actually calling us, those of us who don't want women to crash and code in hospitals, those of us that are doctors, we don't want our patients to crash and code when we send them to the ER. We're evil. This is the level of ignorance, because these people they're not doctors. They don't have medical training. Regarding building of future cases, we have to go back to Roe v. Wade, Six of Cups. Go back to what worked. And it has to be a 50 state strategy. People are simply ignorant. They're uneducated, and we have to be very proactive about educating ourselves and educating the general public. More people in the grave. It's going to go very slow. They're trying to slow it down. They will use anything in their power to slow down our ability to get help for women. It's a very dangerous time to be a woman in the United States. This is what happened in Ireland. A lot of women were dying, and then Ireland had to come in and do something because of the Catholic Church. So the Catholic Church is murdering women. The Catholic Church has murdered Indigenous people in Canada. They've started digging up the bodies of some of the children, broken bones, broken skulls, genital assault, right? The Catholic Church is in no position, has never had a great history of protecting children and women. And sure enough, we've got women and children being murdered because of the Catholic Church. So God bless you if you want to be a Catholic, but stay away from my patient. I can say that as a doctor who's had to send people to the ER. Stay the fuck away from my patient. Let me do my job. The female doctor, OBGYN, the Torah, the keeper of, we should not have to have a situation in place that's like the Underground Railway, but that is what we're doing. It's like an underground railway where we're having to smuggle the victims out so they can get the necessary medicine that they need. So this is almost like coming up with clever, secretive ways to deal with the situation. They will be wrapped in, good people are going to wrap them in red tape, Eight of Swords, and a new partnership with Roe v. Wade, which means that we could codify Roe v. Wade state by state, and then the final outcome would be Nine of Pentacles. But boy, how many people had to die before we had to go and codify it state by state? And at that point, it would be an amendment. So we're looking at having to have an amendment so that the church doesn't murder any more women. We actually have to come in and stop the Catholics from killing us, killing our kids, right? And every other religious, not just the Catholics. There's a couple of other evangelicals, extreme Orthodox Judaism also, even though that's not what it says in the Talmud. In the Talmud, it says that you do have a right to have an abortion in certain situations. So they're just making this crap up as they go along. Jesus never even talked about abortion, right? So they're just making crap up. And it's killing people. So we have to be very proactive. We have to be very logical. We can't be sitting around dreaming. We have to vote blue. The Senate is very vital. We've got to take the Senate. And it looks like we have to codify Roe v. Wade state by state. And we're looking at it probably with a Nine of Pentacles outcome. It's probably going to become an amendment. A woman has a right to medical care. Gee, in 2024, they're finally figuring out that women have a right to medical care. Can you believe that? There's a lot of beautiful stuff in Catholicism, so long as you keep men out of it, right? It's just very sad because there's so much beauty in Catholicism. The rosary is incredible. And there have been some great saints, but then you have this nut jobs running around destroying everything. All right, so regarding the what is going on, people think that, well, now in Texas, we're talking about a 4% lead for Trump. So it's now in the margin of error. And we don't know, a lot of people, they don't have landlines, they have cell phones. So we're just going to be looking at Trump's and Harris's chances in Texas, Florida, and Georgia. And thank you, everyone that's helping to keep me organized. All right. Is Trump going to win in Texas? Let's just look. Trump winning in Texas. How's Trump going to do in Texas? How much do the men of Texas hate women? That's really what we should be asking ourselves. If you're a man in Texas, how much do you hate women? All right. You want them to drop dead? 10,000 unwanted babies born every year in Texas because of their crazy policies, dumped in trash cans. Half the time, they don't even know if the kid's going to be alive when they find it. Thank you, Texas. Thank you for, no interest in foster parenting, are you? No, you just want to create more foster kids, more desperation, more kids begging in the streets that you can hate and condemn because you hate the homeless, who are children in the foster care system that have aged out of the foster care system. And now they're on the streets after being traumatized and kicked around. And so you want to abuse and kick around traumatized people because you love children so much. Talk about hypocrisy. Hey. All right, I'm enough with my soapbox. All right, Trump in Texas. Confusion over Texas. I feel completely all over the place. Like, well, there's a lot of precincts. I feel the moon as Trump. I feel confused. Like, my mental health isn't all that great. The opposition is slow, steady, and patient. So we haven't given up on Texas. The hope and the fear, the new contract. So it could be that Roe v. Wade is what gets people in trouble in Texas. And then the final outcome for him, Queen of Pentacles is moving in. We could see, if we play our cards right in Texas and we talk about all these children that are being born and being dumped at hospitals, in trash cans and everything in Texas, it could theoretically help us. He's getting a lot of financial aid from Thiel and from Elon Musk in Texas. and you can see the Six of Pentacles. So even when he is crazy and broken, the people around him are functioning strong and helping him, and it's putting us in a bind. It's making it very hard for us to get out in Texas. Hopes and fears. He's facing legal problems, I think. There was something that came up about him in Texas, and you can see the Three of Pentacles, which is evidence, and then fear of the police. He's confused about this. I think he has underestimated how angry the women are in Texas. We could see Kamala winning in Texas because of the anger that we see rising amongst women in Texas because of the situation there. Okay, so now we're looking at how Trump does in Florida. How does Trump, we could swing Texas with those cards. Don't get too comfortable. Also, he shows degeneration with the moon card, lunacy. So it could show him descending further and further into mental health problems, drug problems. We've talked about amphetamine and benzodiazepine addiction symptoms, and Ambien addiction, and how it could be having an impact on his mental health. But let's take a look at how Trump does in Florida. 10 of Cups, he's home. So he's feeling very optimistic about Florida, like he has a strong base. His opposition is 6 of Cups. So the Harris campaign is wooing the voters, the hopes and fears, a new beginning in Texas. So that could indicate that he's frightened of the new voters, and he's got heavy lobbying. It's going to be very hard for Harris to win in Texas because we see this lobbying, and she is getting a lot of money, but for whatever reason, they may feel like they don't want to put a lot of money into Florida. They would rather put the money into Pennsylvania, Michigan, North Carolina, and Georgia, because look at how much support he has. He's got that 10 of Cups. It's like a family, and he's got this world coming in over Florida. And even though we're getting this financial aid and 6 of Cups, he's on the ropes, which is good in Florida. But look at this. He's got strong lobbying support in Florida. All right. And what was the last one we asked about? Georgia. Georgia is even. You know, it could go either way. She's on the ropes in Georgia. So we cannot assume we're going to win Florida. Georgia. So let's take a look at Trump, how Trump does in Georgia. Trump in Georgia. The devil. He could be, you know, they're now talking about they want to count every single vote to slow things down. So you've got this devil card coming in. So he has helpers. He has codependent helpers helping him in Texas. His opposition, the Hierophant, the higher ethos, and the Constitution. So it could be that Georgia may even be doing things that are challenging the federal government. And the final outcome is King of Swords. So at this point, it looks like he could win Georgia with help from his friends. Two of Wands, strong partnerships, codependency, addiction, fleeing, or we could lose votes if we're not careful in Florida. It's over the issue of the presidency, and King of Pentacles is with him, which leads me to think that the leadership in Georgia is working very hard to suppress the vote, and we are working against a strong lobbying group in Georgia, and we need to be aware of that. So it could go either way in Georgia. Yeah. So again, it's not, when we're looking at the swing states, it's really close. Yeah. Over the issue of Manchin, again, I don't remember the Democrat's name, but he's down like 17 points. So people are not holding out much hope, Judy, for us being able to hold on to Manchin's seat, unfortunately. Yeah. Now we have a strange thing going on in North Carolina with Robinson claiming that he is a freak who likes sex with transvestites, transsexuals, and he also proudly declared himself to be a black Nazi. Robertson sounds like he's, what we see with a lot of these men is that they're on a cornucopia of drugs, and so they don't realize that they're crazy. I'm seeing men 50 to 70, 50 and above who get on pharmaceuticals, and doctors are prescribing everything from oxycodone to Ambien, um, amphetamines, you name it. And a lot of these people are really not in their right mind, and they don't know they're crazy. And then they're voting for other drug addicts. That's what it looks like. But North Carolina GOP with Robinson. 10 of Cups. He feels great about his opposition confused. So there's real confusion what this guy is doing. He flip-flops. And then the final outcome for Robinson taking off. So over the issue of Robinson, unfortunately, he has support. And it could be that he attracts extreme groups on both sides. He certainly has money coming his way, and there's a real concern that we cannot control this support that he has. And it also, this Six of Cups coming in over the race. Let me see how Kamala Harris does in North Carolina, because that just sounds crazy that he is still getting all this support. But let's look at Kamala Harris in North Carolina. Ten of Swords, betray. So again, it's looking like the lobbying groups amongst Republicans is very active in this state, trying to heal. So again, she could be genuinely worried about North Carolina. And see, King of Swords, which is Trump's card. And she gets a lot of support from women, but boy, the lobbying groups are very aggressive. And in what I'm seeing in these cards is that there's a lot of lobbying group. I think we could still see a win with her in North Carolina, but man, they have deep-rooted lobbying groups in these areas that have made it very difficult for us to make inroads with these cards. Okay, so moving on to more questions. People are concerned about some of the chemicals that have been wiping out bird populations and bee populations, not to mention the fact that they've been linked to cancer in humans. Joel is asking about the chemical Roundup and whether or not it's going to be banned in the United States. Is Roundup going to be banned in the United States? Star. Yes, evidence will support that it gets taken out. They think that they can replace it with something else, but there's a denial about the damage that's happened up to this point. But yes, they'll be phasing it out for a number of reasons because of the evidence. But because of lobbying, it took a long time to get it out of the market. But eventually, yes, it looks like Roundup will be taken off the market. I know that a lot of people are now looking into lawsuits because of Roundup. And so for that reason, we could be seeing. But the cards would indicate that they're moving on to other things. Okay. Ooh, pea soup. I'm soaking some mung beans right now. That's what I'm going to be having. Mung beans. Yeah. Oh, good for you. And Corrado, she was able to go completely vegan. You can have a little fish if you feel like your protein is too low. Egg whites also have no cholesterol. Yeah, good for you. Yeah. Plant-based, it might not be enough protein for most people, but we want it to be 80% of what we're eating. Yeah. Oh, well, you could see the link. All you had to do is just look at it. And then, yeah, then you can enjoy the mitzvah gedola liot v'simcha liot v'simcha tami. Mitzvah gedola liot v'simcha. Yeah, mitzvah gedol. Yeah, it's good stuff. Do we think that there's going to be lobbying reform? I don't think so. Not anytime soon, Joel. We lobby heavy. They lobby heavy. But this whole religion in politics, doing it through lobbying groups is very scary. Being able to control them 4 of Cups would be probably not. They're like praying for this. 10 of Swords, probably not. 24 hours a day, they think that they're praying to end. This is when somebody is motivated to do something that badly, they're going to get results, whether it's good or bad. They're going to be getting results. And that's the problem with the heritage, is that they're fighting 24 hours a day to stop people having a right to choose. And that is why they've been successful. And if we don't fight for women's rights to medical care, that as much as they're fighting to take it away, we are going to lose it, because they are very motivated to do this. All right. Is in Robinson going to be implicated P. Diddy? I don't really understand that question, so I can't really answer it. I don't really know. Oh, Robinson wants slavery to come back. Lovely. It's a real nut guy. Yeah. What do mung beans taste like? Whatever you flavor them with. I like to eat things dry, so they take up a lot of water, and they can get mushy. You can do like a mung bean curry. If you've had dal is usually made with mung beans. Yeah, I think we did North Carolina already. Okay, everybody. I think we've been together enough. Remember, get out there and vote. Fight the good fight. Thank you. If you were able to make a donation. No, I don't think Epstein had any link with Diddy, Joel. They were both doing their own horrible, rotten things. We can look at the future of Diddy if you like, but from what I saw, he is able to lobby his way into some kind of facility or something, because Diddy had serious medical problems, and it seems like if anything's going to get him out of his current situation, it's a medical emergency. All right, let's take a look. Who's Nilly Carson? The best way to schedule with me is to just go directly to Booksy. And for 5-minute readings, you can go to Wizio. Yeah, those are the fastest ways. Just Booksy and Wizio. Let us look. Oh, yes, thank you. And if you'd like to buy the merch that Debbie designed, check out our merch. It's awesome. All right, the future of Diddy Combs. What is going on with him? See, I got that he does figure out a way to get out of there. He certainly has enough money to be able to con his way out of there. Diddy Combs. Knight of Cups, the schmoozer, right? The schmoozer. Knight of Cups. This guy is can wheel and deal, right? His opposition, the judge. I told you he was going to get a female judge. He got a female judge. Hopes and fears, sobriety. And the final outcome for him, heartbreak. You know, he's on risk of having a heart attack or something like that, because I'm seeing a real crisis for him. Family dynamics. Look at that again. 10 of Pentacles. What he inherited, what he got, the parent he had. His mother needs to be charged because she did as much as he did. Confusion with the judge, and over his issues of sobriety and new beginning. This guy, it was a great opportunity for him to get clean. But he's by the way, he's facing not only Three of Swords, but viruses, infections, and diseases are all over the Brooklyn prison. And he's got that Knight of Swords coming in. So he's at risk of coronary artery disease, a heart attack, and also getting taken out by something like COVID. So again, something could be coming with his health that causes him to be taken out of that facility. Yeah. That's just crazy. I can't, it's, we should never be impressed by money and power, because you have to ask yourself what a person did in order to have the money and power, right? Okay, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you everyone for the donations. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, check the information below. You can book through Booksy. If you want to see me as a doctor or as a reader, 5-minute readings you can do through Wizio. Be kind to all, so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. And we'll see you later. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Okay. Bye-bye.